Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Tonight we're going to continue building the 5-star stories Machine Messiah AUGE. Just got some tweets there. Making some friends on Instagram. So tonight we're continuing with pinning. The process of sticking together all these resin bits. Dust everywhere. Not sure why this guy's not cooperating anymore. Let me finish this up and we'll give a little tour here. Now, why is that one not going in? Did I not drill that out enough? Maybe that could be the case. Let me just... It looks like I've actually got some... That would be the best way of doing this. I think I got some glue on this particular piece here. And that might be out a little far, so let's just re-drill that. Trying to get better at staying in camera here. There we go. It's better. Okay, so intros. I am currently working on the Volks 1/100 scale resin kit of the Machine Messiah AUGE from 5-star stories. This is about a 35 centimeter tall kit. You can see here on screen. Give you a little tour of some of the various versions of this that are out there. This is sort of the battle ready stance. It's not the one I'm doing, but it's basically the same piece. So some fan art. This is closer to what I'm constructing right here. Potato quality. Battle stance. That's more like it. It's pretty sexy. That's good. That's a good shot there. That's pretty much what I'm building. In fact, that is exactly what I'm making. Although his legs aren't quite in that position on the kit that I have. The newer one, which is what I'm using, he's more in, he has more of a gait. But yeah, this is basically the Machine Messiah AUGE. Got some crazy lines, crazy shapes. I love the big, they call them spalds, those big shoulder shields that it can move to protect itself. I'm going to be doing this entirely in Alclad paints. Going to be using black chrome for the areas you see on the picture there that are silver, and I'll be using Alclad gold, matte gold for the all the gold parts. It's going to be a pretty simple paint job. There'll be some red highlights like what you see here as well. A little badge. And the gold areas will also have some pinstriping. Like in these areas, I'll do some pin wash in there. These are just my references. I use ProRef for my references. If you don't use ProRef, go and Google it. It's just the most amazing free piece of software you'll get. Well, I shouldn't say it's free, it's donationware, but it's incredible. Super useful, super featured. It's a little gem. In fact, I should make an exclamation command for it. So where we're at with this build is we have the legs more or less pinned. A couple little smaller details on them aren't finished yet, but let me just switch back here. So the legs are pinned. Pinning is just the process of installing brass pinning into all of the joints, because resin kits don't really snap together like standard model kits do. They require some reinforcement. So they're done. There's a few little pieces here and there that I haven't yet pinned on the legs, but all in good time. So I've got the legs done right up to the waist, which goes together like this. And of course, some of these holes that you see here is where you'll have the shielding pieces hanging off. And moving up, we have the waist connecting into the chest area, which looks like that. And I'll just try to build the top of it for you to see. Just briefly here. It's a little complicated, but I think I should be able to hold it together. So we got that piece in there. That piece in there. And then this goes in here. Like that. That's its neck. I've got this in the back. Okay. Then on top of that, we have this little flange piece. We have its neck. It's upside down. Its face. Which is a bit tricky. Like so. And then on top of that, we have basically the bottom of the helm. This is where it usually all falls apart, so I'm just doing it gently here. Then on the helmet, there's a piece that goes in there, as well as an AUGE. I can show you just separately here. That goes there. Come on, go in. Then this cool little AUGE goes here. Need some heat shaping. Then that whole thing goes down on top and it all falls apart, but it goes like that there. It's locked in. So you can see how slick that is. It's all falling apart. We'll get that pinned. Well, not pinned, but that'll be all fixed in a little better after. We continue on we'll glue some pieces, paint and glue some pieces in there. But that just gives you an idea of the top. So let's take this apart gently. So these are some small parts. And then on the torso itself, over the last couple days since the last stream, we have put together the shoulder piece. Very, very complex arm and shoulder piece. Lots of pinning, lots of complex pinning. It gives us that shape. And that's not even the half of it. There's more that hangs off the bottom of this. See if I can get it in. No, that goes this way. That piece goes on there like that. Then we have this piece here. It goes in there. Like that. Like that. This piece goes here. Yeah, so, and then there's even more. This piece goes here. And then there are the other, this goes up top here. Like that, I haven't pinned that yet. And then we have, of course, the side pieces. That's the wrong one, but they'll cover the rest of it. None of that has been pinned yet. I've basically just on this one arm gotten it to this point. And what we'll be working on this evening is building the other side of this, which I have started. But it's complex. Okay, so I'm building, we'll just remove that for now. I'm building basically from this side out. Like what you see there. The difficulty though, this is the tricky piece. These ones here. These guys require a fair bit of work. So, what I've done is I've pinned this in 3 spots, you can see there. And that's just basically to give it some overall alignment, guidance. These pieces were quite warped. They still are a little bit, but it's not really warped enough that it's going to be a problem for me. Because I will likely epoxy. All of this together when all is said and done, rather than super glue. So what needs to go in this is we have a piece here, just like the other one, that goes up into that cavity. All right, but the problem is that we have, you know, we're pinning stuff, and normally you'd drop a pin right in there and pin that up into something. But here you can see there's that gap. And I can't pin that. It would just come out the top, and there's no material there, right? So what I have to do is I through pin it. I run a dowel basically through it this way into the sides here and here. Keep that one in place. So in order to accomplish that, what I will do is I'm going to basically just hold it in place. And we'll do one side at a time. We'll mark it. Like that. And we'll start with the pin vise. And we'll start our hole with the pin vise. Got to be a little careful with these pieces because that particular piece there and that particular piece there, you can see there's nothing in between them. In fact, this one has some flashing that needs removed from the mold line. But I snapped this piece off on the last one. On the other one I did, and I had to pin it and glue it, and it was a pain in the ass. But yeah, we'll just get this pin started, and then we'll drill it out with the Fordham. I apologize if my pin vise is annoyingly squeaky. It's really just to get it started. And then we use the rotary tool, pedal-operated rotary tool, which is what you see here. The motor for this is up on it's on a big flexible shaft. It's sort of hanging up to the right beside me, above my head over here. But it allows for some pretty delicate and fine control. And we just want to drill it as straight as possible, all the way through. Just like that. And then once we have that in place, we can go back to this piece and hold it in place and just start the hole into the side with our pin vise. Just like that. And that's basically where I'm going to be drilling the rest of it. So again, just keep it nice and square. Don't need to go in too far. Although there's lots of material there to drill into. That should be enough. Clean it out with the pin vise. There's often little bits of debris left in there that cause the pin to bind. Basically, we just want that, and you'll see this is going to go on like this. Right? And that'll secure it in there. So we don't need to pin it up into the piece in the top. It can go left, right. And then we can basically clamshell or sandwich that pin in there. So now we just have to basically rinse and repeat on the other side. So we flip this piece over, come in here like this. We hold it in place. We drill this out a tiny bit to get a spot started. So we know where we need to drill with the rotary tool. Come in around, cleaner, drill off there. And again, just make sure we're nice and straight. Doesn't need to be deep. And then what I like to do as well is I take an X-Acto and I bevel out the holes so that when you're putting the whole thing together, it makes life a bit easier. The pins kind of find their way into the respective spots. So now, where'd that piece go? We got it here. Just put that in place. Get this in the right spot, and then we'll cut this to length. Let's do it about there. And we'll see if we drilled this hole far enough. Perfect. Look at that. Perfect. So that's in there nice and tight. That worked out well. So that is the mirror of this one. Oops. And if anyone has any questions about what I'm doing or the techniques involved in pinning resin kits, feel free to ask in chat. I'm more than happy to help. I love talking shop about this stuff, so. All right, next. Next is this piece. Just got to release it here. There we go. So basically same exercise, but with actually we can glue this. Let's just clean that out so it's easy to put in. Should work. So a little dab of glue there. And then we get it into our flat pliers. Just sink it in. And then clean it out with the cotton swab. That's filthy. All right, now we need to do essentially the same thing with this piece. Let me just reposition my camera again. Got some action on my exterior cameras. Oh, my daughter's newspaper is getting delivered. Yeah, so we'll do the same thing, but on this side we're going to do 2 pins. We'll do one up here. Okay. And then we'll do another one down here. But on the other piece I missed, and the pin ended up running like down here. Just on the outside, which is no good. I want it closer to the corner so it's going through some actual meat. In fact, you can see it. The reason for that is it exited. I don't know if you can see that, but it exited right in the hole that another piece goes into, which I don't really want. So I'm going to drill this guy out closer to the corner. We'll start with that. I'm just going to turn this, or sorry, remove this piece. Don't need this in it when we do this. And if you're watching and you have experience with resin kits, there's various degrees of pinning that people do. I like to pin everything. I like to pin as much as I can humanly possibly pin, which might seem excessive to some, but the reason I do it is I just like having the pieces there for the purpose of airbrushing. It's just easier. Like you could say, well, this piece doesn't really need to be pinned. You could have epoxied it in everywhere, but having that pin there just makes life so much easier when you go to actually airbrush it, because you can put it on your clips and you can hold every piece. So again, we'll start this guy. And I mean, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not saying I enjoy pinning, but it's kind of a necessary evil. Once you've done it enough, you kind of just get used to it and understand that it's a necessary part of resin kits. And you know, if you're coming from Gunpla or some other scale models, you know, it's not. If you watch somebody do it enough, you'll understand that it's not a big deal. So we'll get these two started. All you need are some decent drills, which I don't have. I have like the cheapest AliExpress drills you can find. But the nice thing about those is you get a lot of them in the box, so the garbage ones you can just throw out. The point is, though, to get ones that are well matched to the size of brass rods that you have. So again, we'll just drill straight through. Make sure we're square. Apologize if I'm doing some of this off camera. We should come out roughly in the same spot on the other side. Pretty close. And we'll do the same over here. If we're not completely square, it's not the end of the world. Because there's a fair bit of wiggle room. We'll just clean those out. Bevel these. Exclamation mark project, by the way, in chat. We'll give you a little bit of information about this kit. Feel free to hit that. Feel free to ask any questions, or feel free to lurk. It's late on Wednesday. You just want to chill and listen to the tunes. Watch me drill holes. All good. I don't generally keep an eye on viewer count or anything. I don't find it helps when psychology of streaming, so I just occasionally glance up at chat. Somebody said something cool, but for all I know, I got nobody watching me, and that's okay. So I'll just drill into there. Got a fair bit of material, so I'm not too worried about going in a little deep. Clean that out. Apologies for the blowing if it's annoying. But it leaves a lot of material in the holes, and that tends to become a problem later. Find a piece of brass here. That should do short term. It's too short, but it'll work for what we want to do. Get that in there, because that'll hold that side in while I drill this side. Like so. We'll get that hole started. I got that in a perfect spot, which is what I wanted. If you see me doing shit off camera, just holler. Get that started a bit with the pin vise. Rotary tool. We'll just carefully get that a little deeper. Doesn't need to be too deep. All right, now we need some more rod here. Make sure I get the right size. Geez, I hope I have some, or this is going to be a short stream. Is that the one? Oh yeah, got lots. We got lots. That's dirty. You can tell when it's dirt, when there's still crud in it, because it binds. The rod will bind quite a bit going in. That's better. So you can see just how far in that is. Pull that out. Right. So same drill as before. Let's cut this roughly in the same spot. We'll go to here. Can always cut it down. Get one in there, one in there. And you'll see what we're aiming to accomplish here is this is going to go on this. Come on. There we go. Like so. Ooh, I may have cut those a bit too short. That's okay. We can pull them out a little bit. Or actually, I'll probably just cut new pieces. And this is going to go on here. And then that's going to go on there once we get those other two pieces drilled. And that'll be more or less complete for this particular complex part. And then we can start moving down, working down this way on this part. So what we want to do now is drill the holes on the flip side of this. Hopefully the casting is pretty similar. I'm pretty sure on this side, I'm down from the top and snug in the bottom corner. Let me just verify that. So this way. Yeah, I'm pretty snug down here. And there's a little bit of gap up top. So we'll just replicate that on the other side and hope for the best. So, like so. Use a pin vise to get it started. We'll drill that. And then we'll use that pin to lock in piece to do the bottom. Get that started. Terror23, how are you tonight? Thanks for dropping by. Just chilling to some lo-fi beats while we're continuing pinning on the AUGE. Let's drill that out. What's new and exciting with you? I hope you've had a lovely Wednesday. And let's redo these, because those two I cut were too short. So we probably wanted about like that. And like this. That feels like it's binding a little bit. Cut that. You know what? I'm going with she. I mean, it's pretty effeminate looking. But I don't know. They kind of, I don't know. They sort of defy gender. I don't know if the if we just jump into this, I don't know if it actually says anything about that aspect of them. Relic left over from the AD era, the Machine Messiah, the precursor to the modern Joker Mortarhead. How's the machine exited in here? Machine Messiah AUG's pilot, Amaterasu's family overseer, Green Napier, considers the AUGE one of his most beautiful. It doesn't really say. But you know, the idea behind the 5-star stories, Mortarheads, that's what these are called. Machine heads, mortar heads, sort of use the terms interchangeably. I think he switched halfway through the stories. They require this sort of clone girl, this clone human that's sort of developed or engineered, genetically engineered to sort of be the interface between the machine itself and the pilot. And they're female, so I guess the approach, I mean, I guess because of that Fatima, they call it, clone cockpit co-pilot is female, so I suppose attributing a female gender is not inappropriate in that respect. Hey, Epic. How are you tonight? So for those of you just joining, we are continuing pinning the 5-Star Stories AUGE Machine Messiah, working on the left-hand side. Essentially, this is the shape that we're trying to replicate. You can see here. So this is the torso, if you remember. That's backwards. No, it isn't. There we go. And of course the legs here. But so we have this is the arm. This is sort of the shoulder. Those giant shoulder. They call them spalds in the in 5-Star Stories, but they're shields that are sort of the robot can move to protect itself. And then down underneath those, where is it? Down here. These are the arms, basically. They go in like this. So it's an arm there. And of course there'll be an arm over here. But what we're doing is I've got all of this pinned all up through here. And I can show you sort of basically how that goes. And a little breakdown for the both of you. So we've got this pinned here. This piece is pinned in here. And then we have this also pinned. It's a little tight, like so, into the forearm. And let's get this off of the torso. And then on the end here, what's the best way of doing this? This guy here is pinned like so. And then this piece just slides out. That's not really attached to anything. It relies on this to hold it through that hole there. These two pieces here hold these guys. Some armor pieces. The pins are too long on those on purpose because I want a little bit of extra there for me to grab with the airbrush clip. So these things front and back on this. Then what we have is this piece is just loose and clipped in by design. But this comes off like so with the pin there. And then the next thing would be this piece. And this is the tricky piece that we're working on right now on the other side. I just noticed your comment there, Tear. I had shoulder pads like that once too. I'm thinking in the 90s or the 80s. So this piece, this is the tricky part. This was really difficult to figure out the best way of pinning this because it's sort of a major structural piece. The weight that's hanging down off of this side of it is tremendously significant. It's got all of this hanging off of it, which is a lot of resin. So I thought, how do I make this as strong as possible? You don't want to just rely on glue. So this is kind of a clamshell pinning that relies on this piece like this. And you can see these are just on their own pins within that, holding that all together like that and like that. And then this is also pinned. We pull that up, give it a little twist, it'll come out. So pins there. This is pinned and I've already glued. Oh no, I haven't glued that. So that's pinned as well. Pin there, shown you that one already. And then this piece just sort of slides in here in between these two halves. Like that kind of thing. I'm not going to put it together. Well, I can show you like that. So this is a bit of a tricky piece. Lots of pinning in there, lots of keying. And here you can see where I broke that one little piece off, but this particular part is pretty much buried underneath a lot, so I'm not too worried about hiding my shame there. So what we're doing now is exactly the same thing, but on the other side. So we've got these drilled, and we're just continuing up the other shoulder and making some fairly good progress. Although, where is that piece? Oh, it's there. Okay. So let's see. Let's bevel these. How was your day, Epic? Hump day? Good hump day. Happy to see the tail end of the week. Just gonna do this. Let's see if this is these pins are the right size. It's a little tricky. There's a lot to kind of get going, or a lot to get in the right spot. You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. No, 6 pins. So we get those lined up. Those lined up. Something's binding. There. Yeah. No, not deep enough. All right, so let's just cut them rather than drill the holes smaller. I got to do this off camera because a tiny piece of brass is going to shoot into the room. I like to aim it away from my face. Try that again. Actually, we might as well do it right. Kind of doing this a little backwards here, but it should work. If I did it right, which I did, there we go. Boom. Goal. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Strong. It's going to be a strong, tight bond. How's the VR experience going on? Not bad. Not bad. I mean, I haven't... I'm still just basically slowly working my way through... did I glue that? I did. Working my way through Half-Life Alyx. And my son's been playing one called Swords and... I think it's called Swords and Sorcery, which is a bit of a nausea fest for me. He's developed a resistance, a natural resistance to motion sickness now, which is cool. But it just makes me want to hurl. Gives me a headache instantly. But he's kind of put the VR thing on the side because you know what he discovered? You might have played it. Is he's discovered the Dark Souls series. And it's funny because I feel kind of bad for him. Because, you know, kids these days, they're not used to the level of death involved in some of these games. He came upstairs and said something along the lines of, I've seen the expression, you died, at least 50 times in the last half hour. just glue those pins in on the one side and just clean any excess glue away. Clean the excess glue away, and then I'll usually hit it with the accelerator. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. I mean, have you played any of the Epic, or sorry, the Epic, have you played any of the Dark Souls games? I mean, in all fairness, he started with, I have the 3 of them in my Steam account, but the first one is really not friendly for PC. It's not a PC-friendly game. I mean, they did the port, but they really didn't put any, they didn't make it sort of compatible with computer controls. And we don't really have a, well, he has a Windows controller, but it just doesn't work very well on, for whatever reason, on our computer. But man, it's just like, it was brutal. He was hurting. And I said, hey, look, Aiden, just jump right into Dark Souls 2. You'll have more fun. And he is. But he's still dying like over and over and over. It's hilarious. Yeah, there, that's great. That works well. Nice and tight. Tight. All right. Okay, so next, we're going to figure out what we're doing next. So we got that. I guess I should continue with this. So with these, there's a piece that goes here, like so. Which I need to find for the other side. It might still be in here. There it is. So that needs to be pinned on there. Now it gets a little weird here because there's some funny angles. Like this piece needs to get pinned onto here. Like this. But it needs to connect, you know, like it has to go towards like this way. The pins need to basically be in this orientation, not, you know, not perpendicular to these surfaces. So on the other one, I decided the easiest way of doing it was just, see, these are a bunch of failed attempts here. No, that was dumb. That was dumb. But that was the one right there. The magic one. So we got to do the same over here with this. I've already forgotten where it goes. I'm an idiot. It's upside down. Like that. So, and then this goes here. Other way around. Like that. But this one can be drilled straight in. So let's do that. Shouldn't be too hard. Just get a spot lined up. That's pretty much dead center. We'll use this crappy scribing tool just to make a starter hole. And then pin vise to get the real hole started. Just make sure this one is perpendicular. And then finish it with this. And then sometimes I find it handy to just take a length of brass that we've got already, find one that's kind of the right length here that's not going to just disappear into there if I... That should work. And I can use that to sort of position it and make a mark. By just pressing down. Put a little tiny mark right there. That should be a perfect reference to this side. Don't think. No, it's not quite long enough. Let's use one of these. Just shit in there that we need to clean out. I gotta get better pin vices. It's painful to listen to these squeaking. Way too long. Let's try this one. Perfect. So that's that pinned. So I will have that pin. I think what did I do in the other one? I did that. That was dumb. I wonder why I didn't do it in there. I'll do it in this. Make for easier airbrushing. So hey, Etchibat, if you're still in here, I didn't see you follow earlier. Thank you for that follow. I much appreciate that. My notifications didn't go off. Wonder what's up with that. Stream element alerts. They should go. Weird. Oh, you know what? I wonder if stream elements... Just give me 1 second here, guys. Well, it seems to be okay. My alerts. If I emulate one of these. Emulate a follow. Yeah, there it is. Weird, I must have just missed it. Apologies for that. I finally got affiliate status with Twitch, but now I'm in a bit of a... I'm waiting on them to... there's this weird onboarding process that requires them to verify your payment abilities and stuff like that, and I'm kind of stuck in limbo with that right now, which is... You know, everybody says just wait, just hold off, and it'll eventually happen. They'll eventually approve it, but it's kind of weird. And there have been people who've been kind of stuck in in pending approval hell for a long time. Thanks, Ter. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means that I've wasted a fairly significant portion of my life doing this. Yeah. Anyway, it's fun. All it'll mean as far as the stream is concerned is I'll be able to make some custom emotes and some custom badges, and I'll be able to take subscribers for anybody who wants to support the stream financially. So we want this now. So this guy goes here. I had actually made most of the qualifications for affiliate quite a while ago in terms of time and average number of viewers. What I was waiting on was to hit 50 followers. And this time of night, it's just so dead that for the makers and crafting, it's just, you know, like, let's see, what do we have here in terms of people? I've got, you know, there's a ton of bots watching the channel, but there's according to this, 3 actual viewers. So I'm gonna try to switch things up a little bit in the future. Maybe stream a bit more often. Maybe stream a bit earlier. I did that one early stream. It was pretty successful. But we're here now, so let's just keep going. So this guy, I think I pinned it right in there. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. And I accomplished that by doing a little bit of this. Whittling that down to a flat. And then what I figured was if I followed, you see there's a flat, trying to get the perspective right here. See, there's a flat here, right? That flat goes perpendicular to this bottom, the bottom of this, right? So that plane there is the plane that I want to drill that hole on. So it aligns just like that. So let's just throw caution to the wind and fucking drill stuff. Boom. So I'm just eyeballing it here, trying to get this parallel. Tara, did you try that TV show I mentioned? Tales from the Loop? It's on the queue for the weekend. Nice. Well, don't get too excited. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Wait, don't do that yet, Dave. Don't do that yet. Oh. And I say don't get too excited only because it's a bit of a well, you won't need that. You won't need that. It's not you know, that kind of a sad tale. In fact, you watch with fascination, and then afterwards you sort of think, wow, that's really kind of sad. And you have these moments of self-reflection. Some flashing in there. But you won't cry. You won't need Kleenexes. Yeah, but don't drink too much because there's some complexity to it. Now, I did that a little tiny bit off center. I need to be mindful of that. Oh, where's the piece I need here? In fact, I'd really like to... I could probably get away with that. I got enough brass here. So we'll do the same kind of thing. I'm going to put this into this hole and cut it in such a manner that there's a little spiky. That's, of course, way too short to pin with, but it's perfect for making an impression. Or is it? Did it? Oh yeah, there it is. You can just see it in there. Right there. Perfect. You know what I would describe it as more of a I mean, are you familiar with some of the stuff that Terry Gilliam's done? Of Monty Python fame? Yeah, so it's a bit like that. How there's these tales of fascination and wonder, but with also a bit of a malaise, a bit of maladie to them. That's the wrong one. So while they're amazing tales, there's also some tragedy. Let's get this started. Drill with this guy. I think I'm doing that right. Is that the right angle? Yeah, I think so. It's tough. It's really tough angles on this. Just do it. Release the cancer dust. Okay, now let's get this piece out. Put in a proper one. Just see how far in that goes. Geez, I hope I did that right. I think I did. Okay, so we got that there. Let's cut this maybe about here. Hold our breath. And if it's wrong, we will simply bend it. And I think it is. That's okay, though. Took me a few tries to get it on the other one, too. So let's just do this. This is why you use brass. Am I doing this right? No. That way. There you go. So a little tiny tweak, and there you go. This is the only part of this kit that I wish was actually molded a little more tightly. Like there's quite a few gaps in here and here that they're not assembly errors. They're just the way that it was cast. Like that piece there, there's really no way to the gap that you see there, right there, kind of irritates me. And these pieces almost could have been a little tighter. But most of this stuff is covered up, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we've got that done. We've got that done. Didn't break anything on this one, which is great. I've already done this piece. So what's next is the other large top piece here. This guy needs to go on. Like so. So we'll pin that. So again, it's got this great big block here as a key, which is great, but I like pinning things so that I can use those airbrush clips. So we'll do the same little trick as before. Now the other little thing I like doing sometimes is that the other one that we did, or that I did, so I pretty much put that one dead center. But what I like doing is for some of these other parts, I'll do this one a little off. Because left-right matters. And while I was able to pencil in, geez, I thought I was. Maybe I didn't for this. But I was able to pencil this one. Yeah, so this is B. I wrote some B's on there. I'll write a B on here. So I know that they all go together. And then this will be A. But once it's painted, I won't really be able to do that. So by moving that pin, I won't have to guesstimate which one was where. So let's drill a little bit into that. And see if we have a piece we can use to key with. That's too long. My hole's dirty. She's a dirty hole. Let's drill that hole out. That might be too short. Really don't want to just lose the brass in there, so because you'll never get it back out. Oh, come on. That'll work. So put that in there like that. And then when we line this up, and just squeeze it, squeeze that hole. Don't read into that. Don't read into anything I say. You can see that as I do that, it's putting that mark there, which is exactly what we need. Make sure I get in there perpendicular. Okay, and get this back. Pull this piece out. Actually, we should just be able to make that one work by just drilling these out a little more. Do this off camera, sorry. Dreamcatcher Sky, welcome. How are you tonight? Currently just working on pinning this 5-star series resin kit. Getting it all dry fit together. How's your Wednesday been? I'll glue that in there. Ah. Must have been that one. Clean these up. All right, so we've got this now. Just going to hit that with the accelerator. Don't want to glue anything together quite yet. Clean that off again. And we'll have a look at some of our progress here. All right, so we've got this guy on here. Fumble, fumble. Oh, come on. There we go. This guy on there. And this guy on here. Let's get a bigger angle here. Hey, no worries. I'm assembling this. Oops. Hang on. It is a 5-Star Stories Machine Messiah AUGE resin kit from Volks. About 35 centimeters tall. It's all resin. It's not a conversion or anything like that. So we're just working on, if I go back to that, we're just working basically on these pieces here right now on each side. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the 5-Star series mecha, they're very different than some of the stuff than the like the Gundam and Gunpla universe. They're very pointy, somebody said to me. So I don't know how familiar you are with resin kits, but nothing snaps together like like Gunpla, like anything from Bandai. So you have to drill and pin every part. And some of them are more complicated than others, like this one. You know, this is sort of the main shoulder joint, so, well, let's do this proper. So we get that guy, and then we need this. We'll just build out what we've done so far on that side. So he goes in there. He goes in there. This goes in here. Was it this one? No. It's this one. And then this clamshells together. I shouldn't say clamshells, it just sandwiches together. That's the right term. So like that. Then let's get this attached to here. Get this on here. This goes here. The complicated shoulder piece is connected to the other complicated shoulder piece. Like so. Then, where'd it go? Of course, everything is exactly the same color, which is super fun. Not that. Oh, there it is. This is connected here. Okay, let's build the other side. Oh, I haven't done that piece for this side yet. So we need that, we need that, we need this. Okay, so let's just get this going. Boom. This guy. This guy. Most complicated models my brothers or I have ever dealt with were snapped together Zoids, and that was mid-20s. Yeah. Zoids have made a bit of a comeback, actually. They're pretty cool, to be honest with you. I like Zoids. I don't have any. I used to have some of the 1980s Americanized Zoids. Yep. Yeah, they have, believe it or not. It's funny how sort of goes around and comes around. But yeah, they've been like, I follow a lot of the quite a few gunpla builders, and a lot of them are talk about putting together Zoid kits and getting new Zoid kits. So that's that side, and let's get the arm for that. So now this piece I haven't done for the other side yet, but that just goes on like that. Then this goes in here. Then we can fit this in. This is a whole new world. That's funny. This is just a copyright-free lo-fi mix that I found. It's actually Gunpla Neons, to come to think of it. There's another Gunpla streamer. That's really funny. I will have to chastise him about that. There. So then we have, I'm not sure if this stuff will stay in place with these things holding it up off the ground like this. Just I'll get to your question in a sec there. No, that side's over here. Close enough. Yes, so I'm going to be painting it in roughly the same, if we go back to this view here, I'm going to be using two colors. I'm not going to go too overboard with the paint job on this. I'm working on sort of another project on stream, is a Industria Mechanica Waldo, which is sort of a highly weathered sci-fi floating tugboat type ship. But I thought I'd take a little break from that because I'm getting to the point with it where I'm painting little tiny annoying things. And the last stream I did with that, I literally only accomplished like 2 tiny little paint jobs on 2 tiny little parts. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to just put this on hold and build something that's more stream friendly. And I thought, what better than just a simple, like, put together, pin together a resin kit. I did all the sanding and stuff off stream because you have to do a lot of prep work on resin to sand it and get it to a state where you can assemble it. What you're sanding is the pour tabs, where if you remember when you're putting together snap kits like Gunpla or even Zoids, you would cut them out of the runners and you'd just sand maybe a little tiny bit of the where you cut it. With resin kits, those little parts where it was attached or where the resin was poured into the mold, they're much more substantial. So you do have to do a bit more pre-processing work to get it to the state. So in the view that you see here, all of the stuff that's chrome, I'm going to be painting in Alclad black chrome, which I can show you. I have a sample of it on a spoon, and the gold I'm going to leave gold, but I haven't completely made up my mind. I might use a copper, an Alclad metallic copper for the gold parts instead of the gold. So those 2 colors are here. I can show you. Kind of hard to see the chrome on camera. It's one of those things where it looks a lot better. It kind of comes across as like black, but there is a bit of a metallic color to it that you really, the camera just doesn't pick it up, unfortunately. But I see it. I don't know if boosting the exposure helps. You can kind of see it there. If I really crank the exposure up, there's a little bit of a metallic silverness to the black. And then just gold. Yeah, it just doesn't, it could be my monitor. There's a tiny bit of I could have maybe gone a little further. It's one of these colors where it's a lacquer-based product, so you spray it on in extremely thin coats over a gloss black. So you paint it basically like, think like Catwoman catsuit, shiny black. And then you spray the metallic particle over that, and you just keep building up the layers until you have it where you want it. But it's one of those things where it's difficult to capture on camera. Metals are difficult metallics are difficult to paint, or not paint, sorry, photograph. Yes, sanding. My brothers and I definitely knew to do that. Must grate your nerves to have to read that. Oh, I could see a little bit of the sheen before you brighten the feed, yeah. So it's coming along pretty nice. I'm happy with the way it's turned out so far. I mean, the advantage of, you may be aware of this, and I apologize if I'm sort of saying things that you know, but most people are somewhat foreign to resin kits. The reason they exist and the reason they're sort of, people do them is they often have a lot more detail to them than, the standard sort of injection molded kits, because there's a lot more, the designers of the parts can take a lot more liberties in terms of dealing with undercuts, because they're pulling the part out of a flexible silicone mold. So there's some give. You can have undercuts and things and complex shapes without losing the details. Whereas with a metal, injection molding, the mold absolutely has to be able to separate, out, like this from the part. Whereas, when you're taking something out of a silicone mold, you can kind of like peel the mold off like that, right? But injection molding machines, they have metal molds that clamp together. They get hot goo squirted into them. It cools. They have to be able to pop it out in a perfect, two parallel parts moving away from each other. So you don't have a lot of the really fine detail. that you would see, like this part here. Well, this piece here, this would be this would be impossible to do in an injection molding in one part. It would be dozens of parts. So that's the draw to the resin kits, is just they tend to be a lot more they have a lot more detail to them, way more panel lines, way more fun things to look at, more visually interesting. Thanks, Tear. Just sort of taking a progress point here in terms of what we've done so far. Jesus, these are hard to take apart. We'll do that later. So we'll just keep going on this. I'd like to get this top piece here done, just like we have the one here. So that is this part, which goes in there. And where is it? This one. Just goes in there. So that's an easy one to do. Just need to mark this and pin this. Oh, let's bring the camera in here a bit. Actually, let me move it down a bit so it's not right in front of my face. I think my exposure is pretty good there. All right. So again, for any new viewers, we're just building the 5-Star Stories Machine Messiah AUGE, or AUGE, I don't know how to pronounce it, or if you pronounce it or you say the letters, resin kit from Volks, Japan. I think it's about a 200-piece kit, maybe less than that. I haven't counted them. And we're just going through the process of pinning all the pieces, which is a necessary step with resin kits. None of the parts snap together and stay together, and just gluing the whole thing together would be insane. So you go through this super fun process of just drilling holes and everything, and putting brass rod everywhere. If you have any questions about anything along the way, don't hesitate. I love shooting the shit, explaining what I'm doing. Yeah, so brass rod there. And then that goes through this hole. Like that. Into the actual part of the arm right here. So we should be able to just kind of eyeball that one. So we're going to cut that. Glue it. Well, maybe we won't glue it yet, just in case. Put the hole right there. Now to do this, though, I think I'm going to extract the stuff from it, sadly. This one's been fun, and you know what? Honestly, I've done most of this on stream. This is a fun kit. I'm really happy with this. Oh yeah, I would not start with. If you're thinking of doing this sort of thing, I would probably start with Gunpla, or if you or if you do Gunpla and you just want to try resin, do a figure kit first. Like do one of the anime figures if you're into that thing, if it appeals to you. I have a few, but that's kind of where to start because it's not like it's weird the transition from the like resin anime figures. You have kits with maybe I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 parts total, but they're bigger. They're bigger, larger pieces, easier to deal with. You're not trying to pin, like things like this, because resin's brittle. If you squeeze this the wrong way, it'll snap. Things like this you don't have to deal with in some of those kits. So you'd start with something simple like that, and then once you're comfortable with working with resin, you would build up to something like this if you wanted to try. But there are kits, like definitely if you're more into the Gundam Gunpla resin type stuff. The other thing is well, I was going to say conversion kits, but they're almost a little harder than these even. There are these things called conversion kits where you would buy a particular model of Gunpla, like a Zaku, or a Sazabi. Like I have one on order; it's coming in. That is a conversion of the Sazabi, um, Char's Sazabi. And what it is you buy the regular Verka Sazabi kit from Bandai, which is a snap together, Gunpla kit. But the conversion kit gives you a bunch of resin parts that replace parts of the it replaces parts of the standard kit with much more detailed parts, and it just makes it look that much better. You could accomplish probably the same thing by doing a lot of scribing and panel lining yourself, but that's a whole other kind of game as well. But yeah, it is relaxing. I like doing this. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking of getting back into building hobby kits, I wholeheartedly recommend Gunpla, because you literally can start. And for any seasoned Gunpla people here, I don't mean to offend. I know there's more to it than this, but you literally need a pair of these, to do Gunpla, and to have a satisfying experience, right? You just need a really good pair of flush cutters to cut the parts out. Everything fits together. No glue is required. No sanding. You don't need to do that if you don't really want to. Yeah, you'll have some parts where if you look up close, you'll have a kit where if you look up close, there's going to be bits that look a little bit unfinished. But like Gunpla is like the company that makes it, Bandai. They've taken like snap together stuff and just taken it to a whole new level of ease and simplicity. No, I've thought of getting back into modeling, but right now I'm trying to learn to knit. Cool. Very cool. I tried knitting a long time ago, and yes, Tear, I did. And it just wasn't for me. But that's cool. What was I doing? This. I have a lot of respect for people who can knit and crochet. I used to watch my grandmother crochet, and it was like I was watching some kind of machine work. She had epic skills with those little hooks. Kind of thing where you'd go out, she'd start crocheting, and you'd go out for a little bit and come back, and she'd say, "Oh, I made you an entire set of placemats." Okay, great. The important thing is to keep yourself entertained, keep trying new things. And I mean, eventually you're going to find some. Apologize if that squeak is awful. You keep trying new things, and decide what you like doing and what you don't like doing. I have been through so many hobbies. It's not funny. Very cool. Writing or reading? Let's use that one. Where'd I put my glue? There it is. Reading, nice. Definitely one of my favorite pastimes too. I've dabbled. I'm one of those guys who's been working on the same book for, I think, about 12 years. Oh, it's not too much information. It's hard. Writing is hard. You know, I consider myself a pretty imaginative person, and it's just tough. You know, it's easy to create content, but it's difficult to create content that's really well put together and interesting. You know, you write a whole bunch and then look at it and you think, God, that's boring. But then, you know, you're also your own worst critic, right? So all right, so there's that side done with the that shoulder piece. The other thing is I have a collection of typewriters that I start typing with typewriter, and I'm not one of those people that goes to like the corner cafe with the typewriter. I do it in the privacy of I hide my typewriter shame in my house, and but they're just really fun to use, and I like writing on them. I like the process of writing with typewriters. What do you own? I love hearing about other people's typewriters. Tell me about your typewriters, and I'll tell you about mine. I'm trying to think of a way of using them on stream. Like some, I don't know, like some kind of reward or some channel points reward. I just got my Twitch affiliate yesterday, but I'm in some weird limbo as far as them waiting for them to do the tax and tax processing and stuff. But I'm trying to think of ideas for how to use channel points and stuff like that. But I think I got to do something with a typewriter because I have some beautiful typewriters. Sorry about that. Okay, one of them, I believe, is a Royal mechanical answer. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the electric one, is it like a it's not one of the big IBM with the ball, is it? I don't own any electric ones. I own more just the portables. And the Royal, is it like an older style one with the black circular keys? And do they work nicely? I mean, electric ones are usually pretty decent. They're the kind of things that they're pretty nice to type on, but when they break, they can be very challenging to get repaired because a lot of the parts are just unobtainable now, old electronics and things. Whereas the older laptops were just built like tanks and don't break. The, older mechanicals. Okay, so let's keep going here. We got that done, we got that done, that done. So what we need to do is we need to get these pinned. Some of the Royals can be a little difficult to identify. And the electric, I don't know that much about electrics, but the really large sort of office, think like 1960s, 1970s office typewriter that the whole, reception pool was using, those were called IBM Selectrics, and they're kind of considered the pinnacle, the crowning achievement of electronic typewriter technology. And all of the actual keys were on a sphere, and it would spin this sphere and smack it into the paper. Really cool to watch. It sounded like a machine gun. Can't imagine what it was like in a big office building full of those. All right, so this is going to go here. So now this, I got to be a little bit careful pinning this because that seems pretty thin. If I hold well, that's pretty thin plastic. A little worrisome. Part of the fun of building these is just the strategy of it all. But what you can always do is drill straight through. Just drill right out the other side, and then fill it with putty, which is what I might end up doing with this. Well, anyway, while you're thinking about that, I can give a little tour of my typewriters. Not the actual units, but I can show you some pictures. So let me bash out on this cheap keyboard. Ter, thank you so much for coming. It's late. It's okay. And thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Have a great week. So I'll just throw some pictures on the screen of my 3 favorites. and one more. Let's see here. It is the Olivetti Terra 22. Oh, that's in rough shape. Maybe not that one. Here we go. So let me just jump into this. So this is the Olivetti Terra 22, which is a little portable that I love dearly. Italian design. I believe mine is Italian made as well. Some of them are US made, but it's a cute little one that I really like. I also have a Olivetti Valentine, which is basically it's got the same innards as the Terra 22, but it's got a plastic kind of sexy red shell. Now this one, it's kind of awful to use, but it's like the Ferrari of portables, but it doesn't drive like a Ferrari. It just looks like a Ferrari. But the one that I like the most is this guy here, which is it's my favorite one, and it is the Hermes 3000 from about 1968. I think mine was done, and I just think it's probably the best portable typewriter ever made. Really amazing, and love it dearly. But yeah, they're just so much fun to type on. But anyway, those are my three favorites. I also have a few others, but well, actually, I have one other one that's actually a really nice one. It's an Olympia. I think it's an SM9. Yeah. So it looks like this. This is a newer one, actually. Mine's more like this with the cursive front. But lots of fun. Really nice. I have two of those because the first one I got actually has a Polish keyboard. No, a Spanish keyboard. Sorry, it's like an Azerty instead of QWERTY keyboard. And the purchase was perhaps spontaneous, and I realized afterwards that it might have been an error to try to learn to type on a different keyboard, and so I eventually found one that had a regular QWERTY keyboard. I think I'm going to drill this one right here. I won't drill it in the actual keying. Smith Corona. Very nice. Very nice, yeah. Smith Corona. They've been making typewriters since the beginning. Yeah, like I said, the Royals can be kind of challenging to identify because they didn't really that could potentially be going way back, like pre-World War, even like potentially pre-World War II, with some of the Royals. And they didn't really make the models that apparent. They weren't really marketed in the same way that things were, starting in the 40s and 50s and 60s, where you'd have salespeople who would have particular models and the pamphlets and all the brochures and those sorts of things that they would try to differentiate between all of them. The older ones, the Royals in particular, they didn't really do models on them that were obvious. If you went to like Reddit, there's a typewriter subreddit on Reddit that you could put a picture of it on there, and you'd have an answer in probably about 10 minutes as to what exactly it was. And if you told them what the serial number was, you would probably be told what year it was made and where it was made. So oh, okay. So yeah, that is usually the case. Yeah, if it's got the different styles of keys. And to be honest, that's probably a good thing, because those the typewriters with those types of keyboards, the action on them tends to be pretty heavy. So they're kind of, you know, you can type on them, but boy, you know, you're in for a workout. Dreamcatcher, do you stream, by the way? If you do, I'll give you a shout out. I should have asked that earlier. I apologize. We're just going to cut a little tiny one of these. Shoot it over there. Okay. Nice. That sounds like it would be a very satisfying and rewarding profession. I have nothing but respect for professions where they help others. It's just one of the most altruistic things somebody can do is to devote their time to assisting others. All right, so my hair, I'm a little closer to that side, and I'm pretty much smack in the middle. So we're going to try and drill a hole right here. And we'll just drill that guy out by hand. No need to use the tool for that. Hey, you got to go where life takes you, right? Like, I know people who change their careers every so often, and that's great. I mean, you know, there's nothing to say that something that you like today is going to be your forever. I mean, I went to school for art and graphics design. I don't think I got that in the right spot. We'll see. I went to school for art and graphics design, computer animation, and digital sculpting, character design, that kind of stuff. And I left college and promptly started doing software development for and web development for the Canadian federal government. I did that for years as an independent contractor. And then I became a project manager there. And then I decided to move out west to Western Canada. I'm located in British Columbia, Canada. And here I work in real estate as my profession. So I completely get that someone might not want to do something forever, because I didn't. And, you know, things change. There. That's going to work really well. I got that in the right spot. So that's cool. That's good. Didn't punch through, which is nice. So this piece goes on top of this, if I can find it. I've lost it. Where the heck is it? That's the problem with this stuff is, oh, it's this. It's right in front of me. All right, so let's just disassemble this a little bit. So pull that out, we'll pull this out. We'll pull this apart. Just enough to get this in. And get this in here. Come on. Let's try it on the other side. Super fiddly. There. Oh, yeah, there. So that's there. Didn't have that in before. Makes it a little harder to put it together. And then with that up there, this is going to go on here. Just like that. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this how this is coming out. All right. Well, everyone, I think I'm going to pull the plug on this here. Dreamcatcher, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. It's been fun. It's been fun chatting with you. I love meeting new people on Twitch. And like I said, I just got my affiliate status, but I'm just waiting on this weird sort of purgatory of waiting for them to approve my payout option. I don't even care about how I'm paid out. I don't even care if I ever make a dime on this. But I would like to see some of the stuff like emotes and whatnot on my stream. But oh well, we'll see. So anyway, I appreciate every follow, and I appreciate all the people who chat, take the time to say hello. May not see me often, but I'm likely to pop in now again late at night. Yeah, I'm still sort of formalizing when I'm going to be on. I'm going to probably flip-flop between like I'm Pacific time zone. I'll probably stream some days between 6:30 and 9, and then I'll come back on other days between like 10:30 and 1 or 2 p.m. even. On the weekends, I may go even later. I might do some 3-4 hour streams that are going to be out towards, I'll probably come on Pacific time, maybe 10:30, 10:45, and I'll stream straight through to 2:30. So I'm a bit of a night owl and whatnot, but I do have a bit of an early morning tomorrow and require all my faculties. But yeah, it's been fun. I think we've accomplished a fair bit. I might do one little final assemble of all this before I go. There's 5. It says there's 5 viewers here. I don't know if I'll assemble it or if or if we should just maybe find somebody to raid. Let's see who else is doing what. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So maybe I'll just, and I actually don't think anyone really is on who is doing anything too similar to this. So, yeah, it might just be one of those nights where I found that, late nights, it's kind of difficult for this particular profession or this particular field to really find a similar person to raid. But yeah. The Bora, good morning. How are you this fine day? It's evening for me, morning for you. But yeah, I mean that's great. It was a pleasure meeting you, Dreamcatcher. Bora, if you're just joining us, we've been working on the Hey, you're most welcome. Just been working on the 5-star stories, resin kit from Volks for the Machine Messiah AUGE. Just give me a sec here and I'll do a bigger view of it. I don't think actually, Bora, I have too many people watching right now, but just in case. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me, Stream Deck. Well, let's just do it this way. Hey, no worries. All right, let's show this. Bora, for anyone who's out there watching, is an excellent mini painter. Warhammer, I believe, right? Is what you've been working on recently, or is what you mostly work on, if I recall correctly. Let's build this. So. this guy. It might be easier to do this way. Nice. Might have these backwards. I finally got my Twitch affiliate, but I was telling, I don't know if you were here when I was mentioning it, but now I'm kind of stuck in that onboarding weirdness where, you know, I guess I have to wait for someone to approve a bunch of tax shit and payout crap. Yeah, thank you. I don't know how long that normally takes or what, but it's kind of been in some weird state of limbo for the last couple days. Doesn't take long. Okay, well, that's good to know. It's just kind of nervous. It's a little nerve-wracking because you see, you know, you go and look into it and you see people on like various forums saying it's taken, you know, it's taken 3 weeks and it still hasn't gone through. But I don't know if those are just strange outliers or what. I won't put that piece in because I've gone too far. Just a rough little assembly before I sign out here. Okay, I'll get that in a little better. Don't need those. Less than a week for you? Oh, well, good to know. I mean, I'm not worried. I think everybody just gets a little concerned with Twitch, right? Because the support apparently is nothing. There is no support. There's a couple pieces missing, but that's pretty good. So this evening, we basically pinned all of these pieces here down the left side, which is great. I'm happy with that. You know, it goes to reason too, Bora, with the pandemic and more people kind of been home. You know, more people home, more people kind of thinking, hey, I think I'm going to stream. You know, they might just be there just might be a huge backlog, so I'm okay with that. I mean, I basically have it all of those 4 onboarding steps through to the point where it's like I'm just pending review on the payout stuff. So I'll just leave it there. It's not like it changes anything, right? So this is, you know, me streaming is completely just for kicks. So I don't, you know, I don't expect to make any money, and I'm fine with that. Been streaming for 7 years off and on. I have to say Twitch isn't so bad. There are worse platforms. Yeah, you know what? Hey, I've heard that too. But yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm really happy with this model. It's a really, really nice sculpt. It's a really pleasant and a fun build. You know, I mean, I was talking earlier just with, I think Ter was asking, why am I pinning absolutely everything? Can't I just glue stuff? But the reason I pin everything is because it just makes for life being easier when you're airbrushing, right? If everything has a brass pin that you can use. Um, I love the 5-star stories mechs, right? Like they're just a lot of people aren't familiar with them, who aren't sort of in the whole mecha, Gundam type scene. But 5-star stories is it's an amazing world, and the model design is really, really sort of next level. Everything is extremely slender and pointy and very cool. It's a real refreshing change, from Gundam, which tends to kind of blur into all more or less looking pretty similar, whereas the character design, for lack of a better expression, with 5-star stories is very unique. Yeah, exactly. It's a really good attitude. Um, I won't name names, but it's kind of like I've been on a few streams where people, some mini painters have kind of taken the plunge, and sort of said, "Hey, I'm doing this full time," and a very large portion of the intimacy and sort of like for lack of a better expression, I'm gonna just move this. For lack of a better expression, sort of the pleasant kind of Bob Rossiness of just watching somebody paint goes out the window, and there's a lot of self-promotion, right? There's a lot of, hey, I'm making the plunge to do this full time. I have a Patreon, please support me. And it I mean, for some people that's great, and I guess I'm good for them for sort of taking the plunge. But, I honestly, when I watch people paint on Twitch, it's kind of like, I don't want to be trying to get, I don't want a sales pitch with it. So, but hey, whatever. That's a good attitude to have. Where, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, because it's basically the same for me. As I do this, right? I do resin kits and I do model building. And I've done it for a long time. And I thought, shit, why don't I just do this? I was doing it at the same time I was watching people paint minis, because I've always... Rite Aid, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Really appreciate that. I started doing this just because I thought, like, shit, there's all these people painting minis on stream. Why don't I do this? I don't think very many people are building resin kits out there in the land of Twitchdom. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically why I decided to do this. Hey, thank you. I don't have a lot of work on there. I'm a bit, quite frankly, lazy with social media, and I'm trying to be a bit better with it. But I tend to just work until I collapse, and then kind of just like shut it all down, go and watch some TV and go to bed. And I got to sort of get into the mindset of, okay, this is what I've accomplished. I should really put a post on Insta and kind of go through that. Along the bottom of the screen, I've got like a Twitter and Facebook, but honestly, they're completely empty. I'm probably going to just drop those and stick with Insta as my sole social platform for things. Just because I just cannot develop the discipline to post to multiple places. Although I suppose Twitch might make some sense as far as automating, letting people know when you're online. But yeah. Yeah, chill streams. That's just, that's my thing. And, and you're right, the games. I don't understand the games that much, the stream raiders and those sorts of things. I mean, maybe the thing is I should participate in them. If I participated in them, I would probably enjoy them. But, I'm kind of just here to watch you paint or do what you're doing. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's bizarre. Marbles, right? All of a sudden imagine I was pinning. I was in the middle of determining, pin placement and all that. and I look up and I say, "Oh, it's time to play marbles." And then all of a sudden, we're watching a bunch of pixels, go down chutes and ladders. It's weird. I agree. It's very strange. Um, yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Or if I want games, I'll go and play them myself. For some later projects, I just got a bunch of these in the mail. These are metal beads because I'm going to be building some. There's a gentleman by the name of Michael Fichtenmeyer who owns Industria Mechanica, which is a little resin kit shop based out of Pittsburgh. And he's just started a Patreon. He's been struggling actually with his business. I can show you. I don't know if you've been on a stream where I sort of talked about him, where we just get rid of my typewriters. And if we go to Industria Mechanica, crash kits. He has a little resin. He has a sort of a workshop that he sells these resin kits out of Pittsburgh, but he's had a hell of a year just with COVID and USPS being so terrible. So he started a Patreon where he's just releasing a lot of his designs as STLs for people to 3D print. So one of the things is this, that he's kind of building an entire 3D printed library of robots that are posable. They're like ball jointed dolls, and they're based on these sorts of ball bearings. So once I'm finished a couple projects, I might print up one of these and do a ball jointed doll type thing. That's I say they call BJD ball jointed dolls because they're posable, but they're not dolls. They're these robots. But that should be a fun project too, because it'll be one where we build it right from scratch. I'll do all of the on stream. I'll be able to show sort of the process involved in 3D printing it. Not the 3D printing itself, that's boring. But I'll go from here. Yeah, Adam Savage did one of these. He did, I believe it was one of the Derek Stenning models. I think it was a 1/8 scale. Yeah, it might have been this one. Or no, it was one of the girls, wasn't it? It was a girl. They're not 1/8. I think they are even bigger. They're 1/6, I think. I think it was this one. Dystopic. Very cool. Very cool sculpts. Oh no, that's a dude as well. I'm sure it was a girl. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, it was certainly from this series. He has a whole series of works from Derek Stenning. What's really cool about Industria Mechanica is he licenses it. So he finds these artists, like the Waldo that I'm doing is this one. I'm building one of these on stream. And it's kind of a more advanced kit. Like it's got it's got some resin. It's got some what is it? Photo etch. And this is what the models look like. They're sort of junk ships. But the artist that created this world of these ships, his name is Ian McHugh. And he's just a 2D illustrator. He works in creative. He does creative work for the film and video game industry. But what Michael, who owns Industria Mechanica, does is he licenses these ideas and creates masters, and then has these resin kits made. And he's done that with Ian McHugh. He's done it with Derek Stenning with those Cosmonaut series, and it's a really neat idea. And I love supporting this guy, and so that's why I signed up for his Patreon, because he wasn't doing well this year with business. Just not being able to get, he has the demand. It's just that he can't get the resin kits produced and into North America for a reasonable price. So he thought, well, fucking, I'm gonna just do, I'll just do a Patreon and see if I can make some money that way. And I don't know, it's really picked up for him, and I'm really happy for him that it's doing so well. But with the Waldo, I'm at the point with the kit itself that I packed it away for now, so I'd show you otherwise. But he's at the point now with the kit, I'm at the point that now with the kit where I'm just painting little tiny fiddly things like well, here I can let me get the pro ref going for it here. This is, by the way, what the final kit will look like for the one I'm doing right now. It's gonna have, but I'm not gonna go with a really bright silver. It's gonna have more of a blackish chrome look to the where it's silver, not the light silver. Yeah, thank you. This isn't my work, but this is what I hope mine will look like. I use this application called ProRef. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's basically a vision board type application, PROREF. It's free. If you don't have this and you want to do something like this, it's an amazing program. You can just make it full screen. You can just drag images off of your web browser directly into it and sort of align them, normalize all the size of them, and just make these sorts of quick image boards. And what's nice is I'm just using the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and you can just double click on one to sort of focus in on it like that. But if you're the sort of person who likes having reference art, even for your mini painting, it's a great application. ProRef, PROERF. But if we load up my Waldo scene, I'm doing something very similar to what he did. So mine looks very, sorry, that's my mouse is a little freaky. But I'm at the point where I'm just painting this kind of junk and detritus on to go on the deck. And I did one stream with it, painting and doing the hairspray chipping and the some of the weathering for it, but it was just, I thought afterwards, I sort of watched a little bit of my recording back and I thought, Christ, I accomplished nothing in 3 hours because I was explaining stuff as I was doing it. And I realized, you know what, this is kind of silly. I should really just do this off stream. And then when I get to the actual part where I'm ready to mount the thing, because I'm doing the same kind of diorama with mine, where it's going to be on this kind of a post moored up against this with electricals running down the post. Mine, I don't know if he did it in his reference one, but mine has all the lighting all works. So I've kind of put a bunch of lighting effects and navigation lights and things on it. So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of that's the Waldo anyway that I'm working on. These are all just reference pieces, but these aren't mine at all. These are just pictures I stole off the internet. But I'm basically going for a diorama that's going to look pretty similar to this. So yeah, it should be fun. Anyway, my friend, I think I am going to pull the plug on this. Thank you for dropping in. And Rite Aid, thank you for that follow. I do appreciate those compliments. I saw you back there. Yeah, the dystopian, well, absolutely. It's just it's so up my alley. Well, if you go back through my Insta, I think I have a big one on there. Big chunga there. What's his name? The Briegel from Luca Zampriolo. At least I think it's on there. Trying to remember now if I have that in my Insta. I'm pretty sure I put him in there. Yeah. This guy here. This is the work. This is a resin kit by a gentleman named Luca Zampriolo, who owns his business. It's funny. His business is called yeah, I'll link that up in a sec. His business is called Calamity, which is funny because it's actually, he's a huge fan of 5-star stories as well. and he is he is he steals from it a little bit, like a lot of his designs and things. Um, but yeah, this is huge. This is like maybe a foot, 1 foot 6 inches tall. It was maybe about 300 or 400 pieces, I think. No, probably closer to 300 piece resin kit. It's all resin. Um, but yeah, I went kind of full on weathered with this guy. Um, and hairspray chipping and all that. And this is kind of like my wheelhouse. I love doing this kind of thing. The one that I'm doing here with the really clean look is actually not something I normally do. Um, but I thought just with the aesthetic of the 5 Star Stories kits, I kind of thought, I should do something maybe a little clean. But yeah, his kits are insane. And they're kind of like this. He's created this weird dystopian world of diesel punk that's just really fun and awesome. And I'll put some links up in chat if people want to see his kind of thing, or some links to this. But like, it's really cool. Let me just do that here. Boom. All right. Okay, so you were asking for Pro Ref. Oh yeah, you found him. Yeah, Rite Aid. Yes, pricey. Yes, very. Lucas stuff is, he charges too much, to be honest with you. He charges too much. I have quite a few of his kits, and I mean, let's just say some of them were acquired from people who he gave them to, without naming names. So Luca comped them to these certain individuals who then had them in their backlog and said, you know what, I'm never going to ever build these. And I was sold them basically like, I'm going to let you buy them from me for how much I think they should be sold for. But, I mean, I like supporting Luca. I have purchased a few directly from him, but I agree. I think they're maybe a little too expensive for what you get. If you want to build resin kits, you like get recasts from, if you're just starting, okay, and you don't, you don't really want to go full on elitist mode with them, just go to E2046 or GKM and buy the recasts. They are excellent. Don't let anyone tell you that the quality is inferior. They are extremely good, the newer ones. So let me just find these links here. So apologies, I said Pro Ref. It's Pure Ref. I'm an idiot. It's 1:17 my time. Apologies. But Pure Ref, it's donationware. Give them a little bit of money if you want to support the development, or just take it and use it. No, it's okay. It's just a really kind of like not very well-known application, Bora, and at least, to everybody. There are people who know it, and the people that know it tell others, and they all know it. But then there's this other group of people who don't know it, and it's very cool. And then of course the other one is oh, come on. His website's slow and shitty. That's Calamity. And one last one I might as well put up there is Industria Mechanica. It's a super, super amazing program. That's Industria Mechanica's site. All worthwhile, all worth supporting. Yeah, definitely. And as far as if you're looking for resin kits, the places that I suggest, I mean, you can look if you're interested in like painting something like 5-Star Stories kits. They come originally from Volks, Japan, but they're extremely difficult to get, and they're forever out of stock, or you're in like pre-purchase mode. And it can be very, very frustrating unless you're a huge enthusiast. If you just want to buy something and paint it, do have a look at websites like E2046 and what's the other one is GKM. They are indeed, and in fact, I think if we just do this, is that going to work? I'm having such issues with Stream Deck. I'll just do it this way. Yeah, those last two links in that. Well, the first link will take you to the Volk site for the original 5-Star Stories that I'm working on, but it's not available. I mean, the problem with the originals for 5-Star Stories resin kits is they release them and they sell out within 3 days. And then the only way you're going to get those is if you want to sit on Yahoo Japan auctions and get get one that someone's scalping. The alternative is you just go to the recasters after a little while and you pick them up. I don't feel too bad about doing that with these types of kits because, very honestly, if you start looking into the design and the people who are behind stuff like the 5-Star Stories, it's very much like the whole anime garage kit scene with the one-day licenses, and people in the Western world or in Europe, they are but a blip on the radar of the people developing Volks and these sorts of kits. We mean nothing to them. We are not part of their business plan, and as a result, they are fully cognizant of the fact that these are being recast and sold to the West by companies like E2046 and GKM, both of which are in those two last bit.ly links. And if you want to get into like big garage kits and big, robot resin kits, I would start there. And if you've never purchased from one of those sites and you're concerned about stuff that says pre-order and pre-order purchased and in stock, just hit me up with a whisper and I can kind of explain what the do's and don'ts are. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I believe I'm going to pull the plug on this there. I'm getting pretty tired, and it's been, I think it's been a pretty successful night. Got a lot done. I will be back on here on Friday, and probably in the late evening, and I will be continuing with building the rest of this one out. We're going to be working on these parts. Get rid of this. We're going to be working on these large and very highly figured armor plates that constitute the sides of the big shoulder shields. So that should be fun. We'll probably need to do a little bit of heat bending to get everything looking perfectly asymmetrical. And from there, we should be in a pretty good position once I get these pinned to start priming and moving into the painting over at the spray booth. So should be fun. Should be able to maybe even start doing some of that this weekend. So anyway, I am going to say goodnight there, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week, and thank you for everybody who dropped by and said hello. And for those of you who just decided to lurk, stay cool. Anyway, good night all. Have a good one. Oh no. I was just signing out, everybody. Silver, thank you for the raid. I don't know if were you able to cancel that in time or thank you so much regardless though. No sleep for you. We are here. And Phantom, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Well, listen, I am actually literally signing off, so why don't we raid someone else of your choice? I have to apologize. Unpredictable artist, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. I see that, Crafty. Thank you so much. We've been working on this. Tonight I've been working on this very large, very complicated resin kit. I'll just do a little spiel here, because I made some good progress on this, and it's kind of put together for you guys to see. So we've been working on this. Let me just bring it up on the screen here again. What the real deal looks like, what the finished, what my finished reference art looks like here. Una momento. Where's the good one? So I'm working on this resin kit here. For anybody interested in checking me out on Friday, when I'm going to be back again, the SWK, thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. This is the 5-Star Stories resin kit of the Machine Messiah AUGE or AUGE, AUG, sorry. It's about a 200 piece resin kit that is this beautiful, highly figured giant robot. The kit stands maybe about a foot tall, about 35 centimeters. So I have been pinning what you see here. Resin isn't unlike snap together kits. Resin kits do not snap together at all. You have to brass pin every single piece together like this. You have to drill and align little tiny brass pins to make all the pieces fit together. I have been sort of gradually through the week working on getting him together, getting her together. I don't know what the gender of this thing is or if it even has one. It doesn't need a gender, but sort of at the point where we've got most of the midsection, and I'm missing a leg. It's all the same color. There it is. All right. Boom. So that's it there. Yes, it does require a lot of patience, but hey, really big payoff once you get it done, right? But yeah, so this is kind of what I've been working on. I do also have the head kind of finished, but they're tiny little parts that are sort of fiddly, and I can't really hold them together to show you that well. But that's what I've been working on. Pinning. Tonight we got all of this section done on Friday. We will be probably doing the rest of these sort of pieces, or like armor that kind of goes out the side and sort of looks like this, what you saw in the photo. So we'll be doing those, and yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. I've been on for we're coming up on 3 hours now, and I'm getting to the point where I'm about to drill my fingers, so it's time to turn it off. But yeah, on Friday, so just looking back through chat here, had a hard enough time. I'm so sorry that you you rated me at such an inopportune moment, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love. I do really appreciate that. You know, us resin people need to stay close. We got to get just we got to knock those plastic guys out. We're resin's where it's at. I do have patience, to a degree. The let's see here, compared to me, have the marble hot glue. Yeah, you know, nothing wrong with hot glue. It just, you know, things get less pointy with hot glue. Things get a little more blobby. I do use a lot of hot glue when I'm doing resin pours. I use hot glue quite a bit to with foam to make the mold boxes. We got the club in Melbourne. Let's see here. All right. So let's see who else is on. Where would you vote on that? Hell yeah, I'd be in on that. I mean, quite honestly, the variety of tags is abysmal. Let me move this. Hot glue is evil. Danger, I'm great. I'm having a great evening. And hello. All right, let me just bring that up. Bookmark that. I'll keep that on. I'll deal with that after. Thank you. Silvercrafty, also I want to say through your raids, I finally a couple days ago got my my affiliate invite, which is kind of nice. A nice little thing midweek. And your support with these streams and these raids has certainly contributed to that, and I do very much appreciate it. I'm in a little bit of a limbo. I don't know if any of you have gone through the affiliate thing recently, anybody in chat, but it's you kind of get to this point where after you fill out all your tax stuff, where you're waiting on your payout to be approved, your payout type to be approved, and it's kind of I don't know, I'm in a bit of a limbo right now, so we'll see what happens there. It's been stuck on that for a couple days, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm really chuffed to bits, as the Brits would say. All right, let me just get the browser up here. Danger, you just got to live each day like it's like that. Just live each day as though it's where you could always stay. All right, let me just move some stuff here. Get my keyboard up here. Does anyone have any suggestions about where we can go? Keep this train moving here. Spread some love. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It might not be wise to test. See, my live list right now is pretty sparse. What's he doing? Well, he's doing more models, but yeah, I don't really have anyone that would be appropriate, I think, for this group. Like, I'm open to suggestions. You guys let me know and I'll do it. Yodeling. I'm going to need a username, though. Professor S. Huntington. Okay. Are we doing this? Are we doing this, everyone? All right. And Thanom, you seem trustworthy, so we're taking it here. Let me just get this going. It was so nice of you to raid me. Thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great stream too. For the benefit, for the benefit of the people who were in my stream before you guys raided, let me just do this real quick. Do check out Silver Fantasy Designs and... Whoops. And Crafty Skull Corvus, the other Corvus. She's Corvus number 1. I'm Corvus 3000, just as far as the rank is concerned. Yeah, she, well, they both make lovely resin-based jewelry. Amazing stuff. Always fun to watch. If you're looking for something glittery and sparkly, then those two, check them out. If you're looking for boring beige resin, come to me. I'm your guy. But thank you so much, both of you, for rating me on those times. Always a pleasure. Love it. The High School Corvus 3000. You got it. Hey, yeah. But yeah, thank you again so much. Thank you for all the new follows, everybody. Let's go and raid this channel. I'm just setting it up now. And good night, everyone. Thank you again. Thank you again. Good night.
But I would still recommend they get a honkin' frame for it and put it behind glass. Corvus Oculum! You followed and now you are raiding. Welcome. Welcome, raiders. Unpredictable artist, hello. Welcome on in. Were you name dropping by any chance? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How was your stream? What were we doing today? And you told them there was yodeling. Okay, well that explains what you would like me to do then. I was a bit in there where I kind of forgot to yodel, but anyway, there we go. There you go, that gets more dramatic if you have 3 yodelers in one and actual music, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, that was the best thing you've experienced all week, and you have a lot of cats. I'm glad that my yodeling was better than your cats. That is an interesting, and I will take that compliment. Resin kit model. Ooh, fun. Ooh. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. I hope I could provide. Now, cats are not better than dogs. Dogs are not better than cats either. All animals are awesome. No worries, Corvus. I would like to say that my favorite poem so far is My Country by Dorothea McKellar. I know it's very patriotic, but there you go.